Jesus, we remember your kindness. Even when we forget, you remind us how you left the 99 to find us.
Right, hey Liam, welcome to Keep the Conversation Going. It's a real joy to have you with us. The reason that I've asked you to come on is because you had a conversation with Lizzie maybe a month or so ago, probably longer. And Lizzie said, I think it'd be really great to get Liam on because you've got some perspectives around your age and what you're facing as a sort of younger people. So, but before we get into the nitty gritties, it'd be good just to hear a little bit about who is Liam.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm Liam Forstner. I'm a born again Christian. 26, lifelong kickboxer, work in construction. That's it really. There's not really much more sort of to me. I pursue my passions and I just sort of try and live a happy life really.
Yes. And you've been coming along to New Life Church for...
About 3 years now. It's gone up to 3 years, yeah.
It's gone quick.
Yes, it has. It's fun.
I remember when you first walked in, I was thinking, who is this strange young lad walking in?
Shy and timid. The hair was a little bit longer as well.
It was, and we seem to have a lot more younger people joining.
I definitely think there's a revival.
Yeah.
I can't speak for other countries. It seems like it's happening in other countries, but definitely in the UK. There's a great lad on social media called Ollie, knowing him. I think he's doing a lot. I think he is the voice for our generation in terms of Christ. He's going out on the streets and preaching the gospel and stuff like that. So if no one's checked him out, I'd definitely recommend.
What's the guy called again?
Ollie, knowing him. So
it's Ollie knowing him.
Yeah.
And knowing him is not his surname, it's knowing Jesus.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I was thinking that's a strange surname.
But
thank you for giving us that little bit of clarity. Yeah.
No problem.
I'm 64 and I was lost.
No, you're fine, but I definitely recommend checking his stuff out. I think he was an ex-drug dealer, I believe. He's an ex-drug dealer that's converted to Christianity. And what he's doing is really, there's not many people doing what he's doing. And he's facing a lot of backlash for it, particularly where he's out on the streets and he's going to places like Brighton and stuff. But I feel like the way he articulates it and the way that his message is, it's strong and powerful. So if you haven't and you sort of want to tap into what's happening in terms of the revival in the UK, especially with young people, I'd recommend checking out Ollie, knowing him.
That's great. So there's a little plug for those of you that like watching podcasts, Ollie, knowing him, by Liam. Recommended by Liam. So Liam, obviously when you met with Lizzie, you chatted around some stuff with her. So I just wondered if you could, she's not giving me a brief, okay?
No,
she just said
fine.
you need to get Liam on. So Liam, if you can just talk about some of the things that concern you as a young Christian.
Concern me? There's not concerns. I just think that the modern world is not spoken about how difficult it is for young people. I think a lot of us are very, very lost. I can't speak for everyone, but I know that I've had my fair share of struggles throughout it. And I think it's just because there is so much happening all the time and you're trying to keep up with everything. And I haven't got the answer to fix it and I don't know what the answer is, but I think it's quite a dark place for young people at the moment because there's no real, and this is why I think the revival's happening, because Jesus is the truth. There's no real place to turn for young people at the moment. I personally find it very exhausting, regardless of what your political belief is. That's relevant to me. My principles align with Christian morals and Christian values. I feel like every time I open my phone at the moment, or every time I turn on the telly, there is, whatever it is, there's something being pushed down your throat. Whether this is happening, or that's happening, or it is just being rammed down your throat to the point you almost feel like you're forced to take a stance on something that it isn't positive, or it's just, I find it very exhausting. and I don't know about anyone else, but I find it very exhausting. Oh, you've got to be on this side of the political thing. No, actually, well, this is happening. This person's kicking off with this person over politics. And it's stuff that I don't feel that. Don't get me wrong, have your values and have your opinion on things, but I feel like when it's being pushed constantly, it's very tiring and very exhausting. And it's quite consuming as well, because you're getting fed all these different opinions. And it's hard for you to take a step back and sort of make your own mind up with it. So I feel like it's very exhausting being a young person, just due to the constant, I don't want to say agenda, but the constant nature of everything that's being almost forced down so quickly that you haven't got time to sort of process it and think for yourself.
Just to kind of unpack, because obviously there'll be people watching this that are not of your generation, so I want to make it like, it's not often we have someone on as young as yourself, so I want to give you time to express your opinions.
I appreciate
so when you
it.
say it's being forced on you, I mean, at the end of the day, most of the stuff is received through the television, through social media, maybe through podcasts, but no one's forcing you to watch. So if I watch your generation, you're very, your phone is like a part of your hand.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, there's times when I will not have my phone anywhere near me. I don't constantly refer to. I have times when I look and times when I don't. Whereas if I look at younger people, their phone it seems to be an attachment to their hand. So I guess when you're saying it's being forced, I would probably maybe say, you have the ability to control what information you receive. But you've grown up, haven't you, with everything being.
So would you not then say that if you've had from the age of, so my generation, I'm 26, so my generation was, I feel like I was the guinea pigs for technology. It was the sort of the first generation. I think it was like year 8, year 9 when I got my first iPhone. So before that it was BlackBerry. So we was like the first half switched on generation for that. If you've had something shoved in your face and you've been left to your own devices from that sort of age, I don't think it's on the user. To a certain extent, I agree that you have the power to change and you should change. But I don't feel that a whole generation of people can solely be blamed if you've been given a device at such a young age and you've sort of said, off you go. And you've then become dependent on said device. Because you're living in a world where although it's nice to sort of say, oh, just put your phone down, the reality of it is you need your phone. I can't go to work without my phone. My train ticket's on my phone. My bank card is on my phone. A lot of my stuff is on my phone.
Yeah.
So if I don't have that phone on me, I can't really function in my day-to-day life. And that's no one's fault. It's the people who designed it's fault. But I can't just put the phone down. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if I put the phone down, I can't get to work. Yeah. Or I can't.
Well, I mean,
I'm
not trying to be.
No,
obviously, we're in a conversation here. So, firstly and foremost, Jesus is our saviour.
Amen.
And he didn't come in an age where you had iPhones. If I was God, I would have sent Jesus today because he could have done a miracle in Nazareth. Amen. And we could have had it global within like 20 seconds, couldn't you? I mean, the horrific murder of Charlie Kirk, we practically saw it happen moments after it actually happened, and I know this clip that I saw was subsequently you can't find because it was quite brutal, but there was a bit that was, my daughter came out and said, Dad, Charlie Kirk's been shot. And when we looked at the film, I said, I don't think he's just been shot, sweetie pie, I think he's been killed. And then an hour later it came out. So I get that, but I think Jesus has given us the power to choose. But your generation, haven't it? You're right. You've got your phone. So I go to football. You know, sadly I watch a team that's not doing very well at the moment, and when I go and watch them, I take another credit card with me just in case my phone packs up, because my ticket's on there, my train ticket's on there, my season ticket is on there. You got BBC telling me all the updates. I know I know which team's playing before I get there because it's all on there. So you're right. This is a very strong, addictive tool, but as Christians, I do believe we have the power to lay it down. And you know, the other thing is, I could get my train ticket from the machine,
No, of course,
and it's printed off. So I'm just trying. But you're right. We all live with this tool,
and you're not controlling what you see. And I don't feel like there's enough normal things happening. Like I can't remember the last time it felt like I had a normal conversation with someone, in terms of it not being about something politically charged or something topical or controversial. I can't remember the last time I sat down with someone and had a conversation that was, oh, this person released an album. Have you listened to that album?
Yeah,
That's really good.
yeah.
Or have you watched Sunday telly? Did you see that show? Oh yeah, that was good, wasn't it? I can't remember the last time I sat down. And it's exhausting talking about this stuff. I'm not saying there is a time and a place to have these conversations, but all the time it just seems like a hamster wheel.
Yeah, I mean the difficulty with, I mean, just on telly, isn't it? On TV programs now, I don't watch normal telly.
No.
So you know, now I will go on, let's just say Paramount, and watch a series on there, or Netflix. Yeah, you can watch it, and you watch it one after the other. So when I meet with people here in the church, if I said to them, "Did you watch that series?" I don't know. Well, I'm watching something else on, Amazon Prime or Sky. So whereas years ago you didn't have that, you had 4 channels. You'd sit down, and most of you will have watched one, and you go to work the next day. So I get that, but what I guess I'm trying is we still have the power of choice. But your generation has grown up with, Apple, and I think you're right. I guess when you go out with your friends, if you do, you're all sitting in a pub having a pint, maybe, but you're all looking at your phone, watching something different,
talking about
have you seen this? And then
so like the Charlie Kirk news, for
exactly.
example, that's news that I understand it, but that's a hot topic almost. It's like you're going to speak about that, but that is quite an intense topic to talk about, and I feel like there's intense topics to be spoken about all the time that you almost lose your sense of.
So what would be some of those what would you say are some of the current topics that your generation is perhaps, let's just say, trying to navigate?
I think politically, no one really knows what to do politically. You've got one side of our generation for one side, and then you've got the other side that's almost against it, and it feels like almost a war brewing. Now, I'm not going to tell you what political side to have or not have. It's your decision to make ultimately. But that's quite a dark thing to deal with. You're not aligned with a large percentage of people your age group. I feel like the pressure to be successful is a thing that consumes my generation that's not spoken about enough. I feel like if you're not in a Lamborghini, married with a 5-bedroom house at the age of 24, you're almost deemed a failure. And I feel like that's because of what you're exposed to on the phone, and what you're exposed to with stuff that's not real. That's something that consumes me massively. I feel like a failure. I'm 26, and because I haven't got this stuff that I sort of set out for, or what I'm seeing, and you're thinking, oh, they've got this, they've got that, da da da. It's like you almost get deflated by it. But what I try and think is that these people that you're seeing they're either very lucky and it's not a reflection of the larger population. I feel like nothing's celebrated anymore. So like if you, for example, I know not many people are in a position to do this, but if you buy your mum a car, and which is a massive, no matter what car it is, it could be a KA, a Cougar, whatever it is, if it's a $2,000 car, that's a lovely thing you've done for your mum, you bought her a car. But because it's not got all the bells and whistles and it's almost looked down on. And it's like, I feel like people beat themselves up about that.
So I mean, obviously, so I would certainly say that Jesus talks to us about having value in ourselves.
Of course.
And to keep seeing yourself as a failure, so that self-sabotaging that we can do. But I do get that, you know, there's this drive for success as if things make you happy.
No, of course.
But the reality is, it isn't things that make you happy,
No, of
generally.
course. But I think a lot of my generation, because of what they're exposed to, you're struggling to find that. There's a lot of, and then because the current economic situation, which I think is quite bad, like the cost of everything is just ridiculous. There's just a sense of hopelessness, and this is why people are just, for me, people are almost losing the plot a little bit. Like, the thought of buying a house seems so far away to people my age, like saving up for a deposit and all that. Everyone's just going out and they're going, well, there's no, like, you're almost giving up on what you dreamed of because it feels so far out of reach.
Yeah.
You can't get it. So people are going out and people are buying this stuff that's not, it's not fulfilling, and it probably, in the long term, it probably is a waste of money. It's not going to set you up for your future. But because your future feels so obsolete, you can't, what do you need now for a house deposit? 40, 50 grand? That feels,
I don't know.
that feels a long way away for people. And it's like it just becomes, I think it becomes very dark because it's all, instead of saving for that house and thinking long term, it becomes very instant. You're buying stuff for now, and then it's like, well, I've got that, I'm bored of that now. What's next? And you end up.
So you would say that consumerism has really caught hold of your generation?
Yeah, consumerism is. I personally think consumerism is one of the. Yeah, I think consumerism is crazy with my generation particularly.
Yeah.
Because you're at a point now where they're either doing it. I think they're seeing it on people that they look up to from whatever show because it's been exposed to us. So like a star on Love Island, for example, they might do a video where they go, "Oh, check out this new bag I've got." The bag might be £3,000, yeah? That bag's probably been sent for free to that individual. Yeah. The little girl that's 16 to 22, they're not seeing that. They're not seeing that the bag was free. They're saying the £3,000 bag, they'll go to their mum's card, sort of type it in, and that's a £3,000 bag they've got. It's just consumerism. And I feel like it's got to the point now where with my generation, you're walking around and you don't know, it's almost like, I don't know, everyone's wearing the nice gear all the time. So it's like you're just confused. You're like, I don't know what's real, I don't know what's fake. And it's very much like people would rather have it fake and walk around with it fake than, and I look, wear what you want to wear, but I don't feel like you're wearing that t-shirt because you like that t-shirt. You're wearing that t-shirt because it's got Louis Vuitton on it and it's fake. Like, to me, what would be more rewarding is, I really like this t-shirt, I really like this watch, I've worked hard for it. Okay, it's a lot of money, but I really want it. I've worked hard for it, I'm going to buy it. Instead of just paying £80, whatever the cheapest t-shirt is, and walking around with it.
On
fake.
A card
that
you're paying interest on.
It's all now. And I don't know how you fix it. I think it's just going to get worse and worse and worse because everything is, the consumerism is just all the time. Everything's being, more and more stuff's being made, more and more stuff's being churned out, which means there's more and more stuff to sell. and who's the most vulnerable people to sell it to. Apart from the elderly, I'd argue it's young people that aren't fully developed and are just going, gimme, gimme, gimme.
So do you think that, so for your generation then, that, and I know, you know, we're talking generally, so there would be young people who aren't driven by consumerism, but the majority of you would say are.
Yeah, I'd say the majority of us are. I wouldn't say it's our fault as such. I think, as you said, it goes, but ultimately it does go back to choice.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone to try and make a positive change and don't do what you want to do and live your life how you want to live it. But yeah, I'd say that it's. Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, Liam, is that I guess the question I was asking you was, your generation have been, you want it now. There's instantaneous, I need it now.
Yeah.
I can't go to the pub unless I've got the latest shirt. Whereas, you know, my parents' generation, you know, it was you didn't have credit, you saved for it.
Yeah.
And then purchased
Which
it.
is how it should be.
But your generation is, no, I want it now,
No.
so I'll use a card.
People my age are going on 4 or 5 holidays a year.
Yeah.
It's nuts. You're not even on a proper. Some people my age aren't even on a proper adult salary, so to speak. It's how are you affording 4 or 5 holidays a year at 23, 24 years of age? Don't get me wrong. There is a small minority of people that do well, and more power to you. I'm not knocking you. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna hate on your success. More power to you, but not everyone can be doing that well, and it seems like everyone is flying every time you open your phone, which causes the person, such as myself, to look at it and think, well, I feel rubbish now. What am I doing wrong? I must be doing something wrong. If I'm looking at the phone and everyone around me's flying, and I'm the only one that yeah. It's I think it gets quite dark, and I don't think I'm alone in what I'm saying. I feel like there's a lot of people that do feel like me, and I just feel like we've been programmed to think a certain way. Like I started watching reality telly in year 7, year 8. So what's that? The Only Way is at 6, and Love Island and stuff like that. Like that does have I know it's laughable.
No, I know, because I'm sitting there thinking, the only way, I've never watched it. I know it's Sugar Hut and places. I mean, it's closed now. But the thing is, the only way, Love Island. I mean, I just can't believe people give up time to watch that. But it's really interesting when I meet. You know, I remember when I was doing school pastoring in Southwood and Ferrers, when Love Island was on, you had 13 and 14-year-olds in the school sort of like field chatting around the latest edition of Love Island. And I'm sitting there thinking, when I was your age, your parents would have probably said, you're not watching that. So I realised that you guys have been, I think your generation has been fed a lie.
Yeah,
that this is what makes you happy.
But it's not.
Yeah, so
it's you like I've been watching it since year 7, year 8. So I've been watching The Only Way is at 6, Geordie Shore. I've done every reality show you could think of. I've been exposed to and I've watched X on the Beach, every rubbish one, every good one, whatever. Them shows are driven by material things and how well you're doing. The reality of it is that that's not how real people work. Real people get up and they go to work. You're watching The Only Way is Essex and they're going on a swim party on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock. No normal person is doing that. But because you're exposed to it at such a young age, you're thinking that's how life is. But that's not the reality of life. I'm trying to get young people to grasp a concept of reality. It's like women now, for example. It's very much like I feel like a lot of young men, they're not appreciating what women actually are, because you're looking at your phone and you're seeing, for example, a Sydney Sweeney or who are all beautiful women, but that's not the reality of what a woman is, because she spent 4 hours in hair and makeup, and you're getting a brief snapshot of that when she's all ready to walk out on the red carpet. What you're not seeing is her in her tracksuit without makeup, which sometimes is how real women are going to be walking in the street because they've got to go shopping or they've got to do stuff. It just is what it is. But I feel like because, especially young men, they're so on the screen, they're like, oh, if it ain't Sydney Sweeney or if it ain't whoever, I don't want it. But you're not.
Yeah,
That's not the reality of what.
I think I get that, and I guess one of the difficulties for someone my age is to understand the world of the younger person. This the entitlement that you're entitled to something rather than actually I've got to work hard if I want to achieve that. I do agree with you with house price. I remember when Liz and I got married, which was 40 odd years ago. So our first house was £20,000. That's what we paid, and I remember we had a mortgage of 18,000. Now I was walking the other day and I saw a Ford. I think it was a Ford. It was the Mustang, and it said prices start from £39,995. And I was just sat there and I thought, that's two houses when I got married. Who's going to spend that on a, I mean, I don't want to knock Ford Motor Company, but, it's not like...
But this is the problem, people are spending it and they haven't got it just to keep up appearances. And the lie that my generation, I feel like is going to be told and has been being told currently, just work harder. Just work harder. I work, look, everyone works hard, yeah? I work hard, everyone works hard. You're still not in a position to do it. That's when it becomes damaging, I feel like. Because you're in a mindset now where you're telling yourself, oh, you're lazy, you're not working hard enough, But the problem is, you can't reach it. It's in my opinion, it's borderline unattainable now. Especially as a single person, a single young person. It's unattainable to move out on your own. And as I said, a few people can do it and fair play to them. But the lie in which I feel that we're being fed, you haven't worked hard enough. You haven't worked hard enough. Sure. Everyone I know is working hard. Everyone I know is still skin. Yeah. Like, there's no let up for people. And that becomes damaging because you're telling yourself, I'm not working hard enough. I'm lazy. I'm this. I'm da. But it's like, I think you need to appreciate what you're doing and just appreciate what you've got. And it might not be a lot, but you just got to accept the fact that at the moment, the system's not designed for you to win, and you need to just take pride in the work you're doing. Like, I'm a kickboxing coach and I'm building a kickboxing website, and I do all right, but I don't do the best out of it, and it used to drive me a bit sick. I'd be like, oh.
So can you just... I'm 64, so sick, what does that mean for...
Like just ill. Like,
Ill,
I've got to do more, I'm not earning enough from it.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm only...
you're all right.
My mother-in-law was watching this and she won't have a clue. She thinks sick is you're ill.
Yeah, it used to drive me sick. Like, I'm not doing enough, I need to do more, I need to get more. But I took a step back from it, and it's like, I started this from nothing. I've got every fighter that I wanted to get on my website, some of the top guys in the UK. I've got 5 to 6 loyal clients a week coming to me. And okay, it might not be a house deposit, but I've done that. I've built something from the ground up. And you need to start taking pride in that, because the material stuff is just out of reach. So start taking pride in the work you're doing. Whatever you do, whether you lay bricks, whether you're working in Tesco or whatever you're doing, just take pride in what you're doing. Take pride in the people around you, who you associate with. I don't feel like there's enough of that. I feel like you're just shamed for everything you're doing because it's not the Ferrari, or it's not the Lamborghini, or it's not the 5-bed house. But the reality of it is, that's not coming anymore for a lot of people, and it's rare anyway. But it's not. but you're made, because of your exposure to the phone and stuff, you're made to think it's normal.
Yeah, okay.
It's just a vicious.
We're going to take a short break. I'm hoping that we've got someone sing the song for us called Gracie Taylor, and I look forward to you joining us in a few moments.
Moses stood on a mountain, waiting for you to pass by. You put your hand over his face, so in your presence he wouldn't die. All of Israel saw the glory, and it shines down through the age. Now you've called me to boldly seek your face. Show me your face, Lord. Show me your face. Then gird up my legs that I might stand in this holy place. Show me your face, Lord, your power and grace. I would make it to the end if I can just seek your face. David knew there was something more than the ark of your presence. In a manger, Messiah was born among kings and peasants. All of Israel saw the glory, and it shines down through the age. Now you've called me to boldly seek your face. Show me your face, Lord. Show me your face. Then gird up my legs that I might stand in this holy place. Show me your face, Lord, your power and grace. I would make it to the end if I can just see your face. I would make it to the end if I can just see your face.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's really great to have Liam with us on Come and Keep the Conversation Going. Tonight's quite a little bit more hard-hitting than some of the others we've had. We're just looking at youth and young adult culture. Liam's talking around that he thinks his generation has been really fed a lie, and it's exhausting. This lack of feeling that he's achieved much. Everything is about big brash stuff, and there's an agenda that's not helped this generation to really grow up and be content and happy. There's always kinds of like feelings of failure. So I guess that's really what you're expressing. A lot of people your age feel like that they've not really achieved.
Yeah, and I feel like a sort of consequence of that is that we are abusing substances, and it's not highlighted enough for me. Like, real issues aren't highlighted enough. You all sit down and watch the news or do what you're doing, and in my opinion, nowadays there is a lot of nonsense and a lot of pandering to people that, okay, that's fair enough, you've got your issue, I get that, live your life, I've got no problem with that. That issue is not a mainstream issue. To me, what a mainstream issue is why young people are, I would argue, are hooked on substances. Hooked. A lot of people I know and I've grew up around are on drugs, and it's a problem. But it's not spoken about. It's not highlighted. Why does, like, it's not.
So just okay. So I know you were talking about your own past and different things. Yeah. So drugs is a real issue for many generations, but your generation is a.
I believe.
Did you say it's more men than women, or would you say?
I think it's just equal, but I feel like it goes back to the hopelessness element of it. You ain't got nowhere to turn. There's no one like you. No one's really got your back. So I don't understand it. As I said, I'm sober. So
you've been drug free for, you said, was it?
Yeah, I'm sober. I'm coming up to 2 years now.
So when you say sober, is that from drugs and drink, or?
Just drink. But when I was a little bit younger, I did try drugs. I haven't done drugs for a long time.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever heavy, as I said, but you just sort of grow up around it, and eventually.
Yeah, because you grew up in a culture of drugs, I guess.
Yeah, like I know people that have been you're exposed to drugs at such a young age.
So when was you first exposed to drugs?
Probably like 14, 15.
14. And you said in the interval when we were just chatting that a 14-year-old isn't making great choices.
No, if you see someone if a 14-year-old sees someone they perceive to be cool, the reality of it is they're probably a bit of a loser. But if they see someone to be cool because they've got this, they've got that, and they're taking coke, what do you think the 14-year-old's going to do? They're going to then be like, oh, I want to be like him.
So when you were 14, so coke was available to you?
Yeah.
So how did the school? How was what was it like at school?
It's not at school.
No.
It's outside of school.
But did the school not see that you guys were struggling with this, or was it?
No, because it's not spoke about. It's not really spoke about. I don't feel like it's an issue that's spoke about, but I feel like a lot of people suffer in silence with it. Like, I feel like you need to change the culture around drinking and drugs. That's my opinion of it. And
so when you say change, what change would you be looking for there to be?
Make it just normalised having a beer. You haven't got to go out and session until the break of dawn. But it all goes back to the reason I feel like young people are doing it is because there's that element of hopelessness. So it's like, why not? Like, why would I not do this? This is for some people, that's the only form of escape they're getting. Like, they ain't got no one else to turn to. That's the only form of escape they're getting in a world where it feels like they're not going to be able to achieve nothing. So I can't knock them.
So when you were 14, obviously your living arrangements was that you was with your mum?
Mum and dad.
Mum and dad?
Yeah.
Was that a good... Was you able to talk to your parents about these things?
No, not really. Like, you don't want your parent. Like, you wouldn't say it to your parents. I certainly wouldn't have the conversation with my parents that obviously my mum and stuff, she's done her best, said stay away from drugs, don't do drugs, da 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 da. But you go outside. Like there's a reality of the world at home and away from home, and everyone's done certain stuff that they wouldn't have the conversation with their mum. I just don't think people are aware of it, and I feel like until that culture changes, you're not gonna see a difference, and people are just gonna plummet into this sort of drug-fueled state.
I think though that in some ways though, Liam, you know, I can remember when I was growing up, there was different addictions that we were doing, but you know, you never brought stuff home to your parents and chatted about what you'd been up to with your mates.
No, exactly.
So, but I remember what changed my life. You know, I was 18. I was 18, nearly just before my 19th birthday. I found Jesus to be my Lord and Saviour.
Amen.
And that changed, that one decision changed my life. You know, because I realised that for me, I couldn't do the same things that I was doing before I was a Christian. And I had to make some serious lifestyle changes.
Of course.
And I guess, you know, I know for yourself, you know, recently you found Jesus to be your Lord and Saviour. How has that helped you?
That's helped me a lot. I took more comfort in it, and I just like, I take comfort walking with someone that I almost look at Jesus as like, I don't know, it's my relationship with Jesus. It's like, he's almost like my best, I don't know, but like a good friend almost.
Yeah.
Like I feel like wherever I am, he sort of walks with me, if that makes sense. So you've always got someone with you, and I take comfort in that. And for me, it's nice I love the church and the community around church because it shows you another side of life almost. Like when you talk to people and stuff like that, and it lets you know, oh, there is like, you can do normal things with your life. Like I remember one of the first conversations I had when I walked in the church, that someone was like, oh, I took my dog to some mad place and went for a walk. But like it was really far out and they went for a dog walk, and it's like, old people do that. Like the culture that I'm from and the places that I'm from, it's like, nice the weekend, you're going out and you're going to the pub, or something's happening on the weekend. You're not just doing a normal thing of walking a dog and making dinner and da 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 da. You're going out, you're doing something. But yeah, so it's nice to be exposed to that normality, and yeah.
I remember it's probably must be a year and 9 months ago. Me and you, someone in church, and they said, "Rob, can you come and talk to Liam?" Do you remember?
Yeah.
We sat in the prayer room, didn't we? And I can remember the guy looking at me afterwards, because I remember saying to you, you know, Liam, I know it's not probably what you want to hear, but you're going to have to forgive that person. I saw the person that had asked me to meet with you, and I looked at his face and I thought, I don't think he thinks I've given Liam a good answer. But I was consistent with it. And I remember, didn't you? You rang me that day, a little later, didn't you? And you said the person that you needed to forgive had rung you, and you actually said down the phone,
I forgive you.
I forgive you. And
and now it's to the point where I'm actually thinking about, I think after that we lost contact for a little while. We've started speaking again, and I think I'm in a position where I'm going to meet that person soon.
So you've not seen him for quite a while?
A long time.
No.
And I haven't wanted to be honest with you. And I found going on a bit of a tangent here.
It's fine.
But my journey with forgiveness was a very difficult one. I'm the sort of person where I can't forgive and I can't forget that. To hold it on. But since going to church, I just really tried to tap into it, and I'd really sort of pray on it, because I feel like it makes you a very aggressive person, like a very closed-hearted, horrible person when you're walking around with that angst in your heart. And when you let go, it is quite a nice sort of feeling. You almost feel like you can breathe again, is how I would describe it. But it took me ages to get there. So like I'd get to a place where I was ready to forgive, and then something would happen with that individual, and I'd be like, oh, you know what? Forget the whole thing. I'm back up here. I'm back to square one, and then it's a process again, and then something would happen.
I just want to say though that I'm really proud of you, that the way that you're now willing to even just contemplate meeting that person.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, forgiveness. That doesn't mean you. And I remember saying to you, it doesn't mean you got to let them into your life and give them access to all areas. But
of course.
just forgiving someone is more about bringing healing to yourself. Through Christ's teaching, and that everyone has got to give account for their own lives, and that person that's damaged you has got to do that. But for you, the damage of unforgiveness can be really strong. And I just want to say that Liz and I we're so proud of what you've done there. And I realise there's still many
long way to go,
many paths to walk down. And obviously what I like about this is you're talking about your generation, and it's it's really interesting. One of the people that are helping with the filming here has said that they really recognise the world that you're talking about for people of that generation. And just to say, if that person's mum's watching, he's not done all the things that Liam has said, but the thing is, there's a recognition that your generation has been, I would say, sold a lie, that success, money, is what you need to chase, but it's like you can't. Like it's always another 100 yards down the road,
or you get there and then there's something else you need to get.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got a mate who's you talk about Apple. Every time a new Apple gadget comes out, he has to buy it, and he's like in the queue, and he's not your age, but he's never. Apple bring out a product every so often, and it's like he's constantly in the Apple Store queue.
No, it's exhausting. I find it exhausting. I find the consumerism very exhausting, and I'm at a point now where I'm getting there. I'm not perfect. I might open my phone and I might see someone with a car, and I might be like, oh, why ain't I got that car? But yeah, I don't know what the answer is, because I just feel like it's got such a strong grip on us. But the consumerism is just ridiculous. It needs to. I don't know what, as I said, I don't know what the answer is. I pray on it. I try and sort of rid myself. But even to the point I'm guilty of it, it's like I can't just go, even like little stuff now, but I feel like we've been programmed that. And I know you say about the willpower and stuff, but it's like even when you go into Tesco, you'll go in there for one bit, and then before you know it, you're picking up a drink, and then you're picking up something else, and then you're picking up something else. And the cost of everything, that's a small little few things, you're doing 20, 30 quid. It's mental. And then you're wondering why you ain't got nothing. But then it's almost like, okay, well, what do I do? Do I be a complete, do I go completely obsolete? No, nothing. No, don't even enjoy my life one bit. But then if I do that and I graft all the time, I'm going to get burnt out. And then my mental health's going to be on the wall anyway. Or do I go down the route I'm going? But that's not leading. There's got to be a middle ground where you work hard, you get rewarded for working hard.
So what I would say to you and people of your generation is that I believe that Jesus is the hope of the world.
Amen. So,
there's bits in the Bible that say, fix your eyes and your thoughts on Jesus. So Jesus, I'm not trying to belittle you or anything, but I think Jesus gives hope. The more that I spend time reading the Bible, looking at what does the Bible say about that, to me that is like a road atlas of how to live. So Jesus, who was the most perfect human, didn't come into the world and leave with loads of possessions. I mean, I don't think he ever bought a. I mean, I don't think he bought a house. I don't. I guess most people had an ass or a mule, maybe, but Jesus didn't have a sort of like perfect horse that I don't, because it wasn't cars.
I feel like the revival's happening because
So
Jesus is the truth.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
people are so fed up of not being lied to that they're now seeking truth for themselves, which is a beautiful thing because it means more people are coming to Jesus, who is the truth. But some people might not like. It's hard. The message is follow Jesus, but some people might, when, as you said, you were 18 and you had that eureka moment.
Well, I met, so you've heard my story, and I don't want to repeat it on, people have heard it before, but I know that, my life was going down a route that there was a buzz, there was adrenaline. I was with friends, people my own age. We were travelling all over the place on trains, and it was a buzz there. But when Jesus come into my life, I knew that I had to change. I knew I couldn't continue down. I couldn't live a dualistic lifestyle, and so I know that God changed me, and I know, I've known you for 3 or 4 years now. I've watched you. We've had some good conversations. You're right. We don't talk. We both follow the same football team, but we never chat about that because we'd be even more depressed. The thing is that you're right. We don't talk enough. We don't talk about the real issues. Most of the things that give me satisfaction cost nothing financially. I like nice things. I like buying things that I like, but it doesn't drive me. Whereas when I was, sort of like 18, 19, and for us it was the casual scene. So everybody was buying Pringle jumpers. For me, I went to my group. We went on to Gabeche jumpers and having me jumpers dry cleaned every Saturday. I wouldn't have anyone wash them because if she washed them, she'd put them in the wrong wash, it'd shrink, whatever. So, but your generation has really been, I think, sold a lie. And Liam, I'm so grateful that you've. It'd be good to have you back on at another time. Maybe get a few other young people. And when I say young people, I'm not talking about kids, but because I think we want to help. One of the things we want to talk about the difficult stuff. And tonight's show might seem a little bit depressing and like, wow, is there anything good going on? But I believe that this is a topic. We have young people in their 20s and in their teenage years that are being taught a lie, and we watch these reality programs. They're not real. People they're not. It's not how average people live, but we live it, and we think this is what success is, and I just want to turn that around. And I know I'll say this to Liam, and he knows I've said this. I'd say this anywhere. The most successful people in life are not the people that have the biggest house or the flashiest car, but they've actually made a difference in other people's lives. They're enriched by what they've done to help others. And I think that's what you're gradually seeing, isn't it? That, the kickboxing, it's not my thing. I've never watched the kickboxing, but it is great that you've built yourself your own company. You got a website, and you got.
Of course, you've got to be. There is hope. It's not all. Yeah. Because people are coming around to it now. I don't feel that.
I want to champion you, Liam. What you've done is amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know people in New Life Church really value you. Sometimes I've watched you. I see you on a Sunday sometimes, and I think you're like a rabbit in headlights. Thinking, what's going on here? But you've hung in.
Well, of course.
And I know there's one man particularly that I know who's looked out for you quite a lot.
Yes.
Henry.
Appreciate him.
And I know that he won't thank us for that, but he's got his eye on you, and he's a really good man. And
Appreciate it.
we just want to champion people. Like, everyone needs a Henry in their life.
Amen.
And so, Liam, I just want to say thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It'd be great to have
Appreciate
you
it.
back with some others. I think this thing about that Jesus is the truth, and that we'd love to explore that more. I want to thank you for being vulnerable. You really exposed yourself. I want to thank Lizzie for recommending you come on. And remember, guys, you're the head, not the tail, and God is going to do something good for you today.
Remind us how you left the 99 to find us, to find us.